Hey guys, Sean Murphy here. Thank you so much for the request. And let me tell you this, from one podcast to another, you can use this for your intro if you want. So if you're ready, here we go. Snooker Loopy nuts are we, me and him and them and me. We'll show you what we can do with a load of balls and a snooker cue. Pop the reds and screw back for the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink and black. Snooker Loopy nuts are we, we're all snooker loopy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Snooker Loopy Podcast. This is day 3 of our day 4. I've already lost track of the days because it's every day snooker fun action going on all the time. My name is Tom Mayhew and I'm here with my very good friend, Hong Kong Phooey, Joe Haddard.
Good evening, Hazel. Good evening, everybody at home. Hong Kong Phooey, eh? I'm guessing that's a nickname for Zak Surety, is it?
No, Marco Fu, apparently.
Oh, how did I not guess that one?
Why would it be Zak Surety? Is he known
I
for...
don't know. I just was trying to guess something that was definitely wrong. But
Do you know, he apparently, I saw he did a tweet saying that the reason he didn't qualify for the UK Championships was because he hadn't eaten any Jaffa cakes and he wasn't wearing his lucky EastEnders socks. And so he said he wore them on Judgment Day and ate Jaffa cakes before Judgment Day, and that's why he qualified.
So, I heard the other day, I wasn't watching the snooker yesterday afternoon. Saturday. I don't even know what day it was. Monday afternoon, because I had an actual snooker match. And Rachel was watching the snooker, and I said, keep an eye out in case they do any sort of pot quiz or anything like that. And she said they did a segment where they did an EastEnders quiz with somebody. And she said she didn't even know who it was. So, was it possibly Zak Surety?
That must have been. They mentioned EastEnders a number of times while talking about him on the coverage. And they said, oh, he should get a cameo on Albert Square. And I was like, oh yeah, because EastEnders fans will already be like, oh my God, it's Zak Surety.
She was just like, it was just this random guy doing an EastEnders quiz. And I was like, right, okay. And she said he got the first question wrong that even she would have got right. So, they said he was the biggest EastEnders fan in the world or something. And yeah, but that's a future cue the laughter if ever we saw one, Tom.
Yeah, well, he's got EastEnders socks, apparently. Apparently, it is his one fact that they want to talk about all the time with him. But he had a great debut, to be fair. He was, he would have been the Phil Mitchell of the Crucible in many ways. With
the way he scared the life out of Ding Junhui, eh?
Yeah, but Ding went, get out of my Crucible! And then Zak had to leave because he lost. But he did get a record 4 century breaks for a record for a debutant. So I think at the very least, he backed up me predicting him to do well because he's proved he's got talent and he's got something about him. Maybe he was just a bit too distracted by Dirty Dennis Taylor. Who knows?
Well, there you go. I mean, you're bringing out all the old names here, Tom. Dirty Den and all of that, eh?
Yep.
Poor Dennis Taylor getting dragged through the mud by Tom Mayhew here. After all he's done for this podcast.
It was just because the pun worked. Absolutely no other reason at all. Dennis is an upstanding gentleman.
But yeah, Zak, 4 centuries, and I think some people were saying, perhaps he's broken the record for the number of centuries made before a frame was won without a century break. Because I think perhaps his first 3 frames were won with a century break. So I don't know. That'll be one for the almanac.
Both those records though could theoretically be broken by Daniel Wells, who so far has won 2 frames against Sean Murphy, both with centuries. So if he comes out the blocks against Sean, he could technically break them both. Unlikely, but you never know because I mean, what a day of action, Joe. I mean, we jumped straight into it, but great debut by Zak Surety. Did very well to get it to 10-7 against Ding. And then also we had Ronnie kicking off, of course, the one big story.
The big story, Ronnie's return. And I think, it's a bit of a scrappy session, really, between both players. Ali didn't play that well. I think if Ali was at his best, maybe the score would be very different. I don't think Ronnie was great, but, he still got a century, still scored pretty well. His long potting was awful. But, he started out, he was 5-2 ahead, and I think being 5-2 ahead, you would say, okay, Ronnie's very much favourite for this match. I think he's missed a little bit of a trick, not having at least 6-3 or 7-2. I think that could come back to bite him, because you wouldn't imagine Ali's going to play as bad today.
Yeah, it was a very strange session for me, though, because I feel like it had all this build up and all these all the hype which you'd expect, and both about Ronnie's comeback and Ronnie v Ali, but it felt like a match that never really caught fire. It felt like it never really took off for either player, and it just felt a bit like they were going through the motions, and it never quite lived up to what we were expecting that first session.
Yeah, absolutely. I think actually it was built up maybe a little too much in terms of, they were doing movie not trailers, but movie posters for the rivalry, and I think that's been built up a little too much considering what Ronnie's gone through, to then just sort of throw it back in his face of, oh, well, we don't care about that. You're back now. And I didn't really like that from WST. I thought it was a little out of place.
I also can't help but feel it's one of those strange rivalries where it's not really a rivalry, because Ronnie's beat Ali a lot of times in big matches, and so it's not like a, what at the moment Kyron against Trump is, where it's a bit more back and forth. And for me, that's what a rivalry is. It should be, one person wins one, then the next person wins another. But when someone's got a record of like 20 wins to 4 losses or whatever it is, that's not a rivalry. That's just a match that's happened very often between two players who don't really get on. But you wouldn't go, oh, that's a big rivalry, because you're like, well, it's not really. Like, Ronnie couldn't even remember the fact they played in 2 World Championship finals, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean, how much do you actually buy that from Ronnie? But I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I think Ali's probably slight favourite going into the second session, just because you would imagine that he will up his game a little bit. Can Ronnie equally up his game? Hopefully. But if it goes close, will Ronnie's rustiness shine through? I think that certainly did at 5-3. Ronnie was in with a break of 46 and decided to play a few risky long reds rather than grind it out. I think if he'd played a couple of safety shots, he would have been 6-3 up. It just struck a little bit of wanting to get out of there slightly, not really caring about whether it was 6-3 or 5-4, which when it gets close, or if it gets close, that might be his undoing.
Yeah, well, it's understandable that would be his mentality. I mean, firstly, because he likes to play quickly anyway, but also just because you can understand if he's struggling. He doesn't want it to drag out, because that will just drag him down. So I get where it's coming from, but it'll be interesting to see who gets through in the final session of that match. But there was a couple of matches that did end today. Ding versus Zak, which you mentioned, and also C managed to go through against David Gilbert, which did mean, Joe, that all 4 of the semi-finalists from last year are no longer in the World Championship.
Wow. I mean, I suppose if there was ever a year for that to happen, it would be last year's World Championship, because they were so low ranked when they got to the semi-final, other than Kyron. You know, and that's a lot that is said about Kyron actually being very lucky last year, which I don't really subscribe to. You know, he beat John Higgins, he beat Dave Gilbert along the way. I think it was in the semi-final that he played him. Joe O'Connor as well.
Yeah, because Jack Jones beat Bingham in the semi, so yeah, it was Dave Gilbert.
And of course he beat Dominic Dale in round 1, so you know that's a sign of anybody's form. I mean, C played really, really well. He's probably hit shot at the championship already. He scored incredibly well every time I sort of put that match on. He seemed to be at the table on a break. Amazingly enough, didn't get a century break. Dave Gilbert got 2 century breaks in that match. But Dave was just making a lot of mistakes, I found. And I mean, he'll possibly feel he should have won that if he was at the best, at the top of his form. But Si Jiahui winning comfortably in the end, 10 frames to 6. And, you know, again, could be somebody to keep an eye on as a bit of a dark horse, because he's clearly got a good Crucible record.
Well, how many Chinese players is that through now to the last 16? Because a lot was made of there being 10 players in the last 32, and so we've got
5 already, haven't we? So
I mean, that's crazy. 5 out of 16. So,
and we're guaranteed another one out of Zhang and Pang. So you know, so it's going to be at least 6 of the last 16. Potentially Zhao Yulong if he makes a comeback against Judd Trump. But well,
that match also started, and Judd has been, I mean, played quite well to get a lead, I'd say. Yeah, I mean,
you know, it's one of those where he got a very good start. He was 2-0 up very quickly. I wouldn't say he was at his absolute best, but you know, he played quite well. He was 6-1 up in that match, and Zhao did win the last 2 frames to make it 6-3. So again, if Zhou can do similar to what Zak Surety did, yesterday, perhaps he can come out and win the 3 of the first 4 frames, get it back to 7-6, and then it's very much match on. Apparently Judd Trump has been suffering from tonsillitis, bless his heart. That's why he wasn't at the media day on Thursday.
Why wasn't he there every other year?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. I mean, John Higgins obviously had a family emergency. That's why he wasn't at the media day. But yeah, it just becomes a bit of a running theme that Judd isn't there every year, isn't it? But hey, it is what it is. You know, we'll see if Judd can seal the deal tonight. Also, yesterday was the Zhang and Pang match, Tom. That was an interesting tussle between 2 players that I think we said would be happy with their respective draws. It sort of turned out that way. I don't know if you know this stat, Tom, but there's never been a World Championship where every match has had a century. And I've been keeping a tab on it so far. And
I like this.
Every match has had a century except the Zhang and Pang match.
Come on, don't let us down, lads. Come on.
So yeah, that there you go. That is a dark stat, isn't it? At the World Championship, where you know there are 31 matches played, at least over the best of 19. Obviously, it gets longer as we go throughout the competition. There's never been a World Championship where every single match has had a century.
That's pretty surprising, really. To be honest, I mean, especially in the modern form of the game and how often players do make century, that is quite yeah. I mean, I think that'll go record this year or soon, because you know players just make so many more centuries now, don't they?
Yeah, I guess it has to happen where in the first round. Of course it does, because obviously if they if one match doesn't make a century in the first round, then it's over. But I think that's where the key to it is, because you do tend to have scrappier matches in the first round. I think once you get to the second round, best of 25, you're almost guaranteed with the top players to have at least one frame having a century break. But we'll see.
Unless the matches go like, was it Graham Dott against Peter Ebdon in the final, where there was like 3 centuries between them or something dreadful like that?
But even so, 3 is 3 more than none. It is surprising, I think, that some matches go throughout 19 frames and don't have a century. It's strange. It's a strange stat, one that could be broken. Zhang and Pang were taken off a frame early, weren't they? So it's 5-3 to Zhang. They're kicking off on, this morning at 10 o'clock. They're probably going to struggle to get through the rest of that session, aren't they, today? So they could well be back tonight, and because they're on table 1, they would follow the Mark Selby-Ben Wollaston match, which that could also be a bit of a slow session. So
a late night drama at the Crucible.
If it goes close, Zhang versus Pang, that could be back near and midnight tonight, and for however many frames that could be. That's very interesting. Obviously, Sean Murphy, 7-2 up against Daniel Wells. He finishes off this morning as well. Do you see Daniel Wells making a comeback in that one?
I mean, there's already been so many comebacks this championship. I don't think you can ever go no. But I'd be very surprised if there was another huge comeback like that in the first round. I'd like to see him maybe get at least 2 more frames on the board, or 2 or 3 more. But I can't see Murphy throwing it away, especially if Murphy plays anywhere near like how he played in the Masters earlier this year. So.
And yeah, I mean, what will be on Murphy's mind is he's got a potential second round against Judd Trump, which is it's not that appetizing, really, is it? So, but hopefully, he gets himself through. That would be amazing. Obviously, this afternoon we've got Ronnie O'Sullivan finishing off his match against Ali Carter, but we've also got Luca Brissell starting off his World Championship campaign against Ryan Day. That's probably going to be an underrated match. I think it'll go quite close, that one. And then, go on.
Well, no, I just literally was going to say, similar to Pang and Zhang, both players will be very happy with the draw there, because Ryan Day as a qualifier and Luca Brissell as a seed, I think, would be in trouble against most of their other potential opponents.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got the start of the Mark Selby-Ben Wollaston match, which I'll be seeing the conclusion of at the Crucible tomorrow. And then Judd Trump is 6-3 up against Zhou Yulong. You would imagine Judd is probably going to finish the job there, but strange things have happened. As I say, Zhou Yulong, very capable player. If he comes out, wins 3 of the first 4, it's match back on. Perhaps Zhou goes slight favourite, just if Judd is feeling unwell at the moment. So, exciting day at the Crucible to come. Obviously, the big attraction will be the Ronnie Ali conclusion. I think that's going to go very close. I think it's going to go very scrappy, very cagey. I think, in a way, for Ronnie to be 5-4 up after what's gone on and after all of the sort of downplaying of expectations, I think that is a magnificent achievement, really, against a top player like Ali Carter. It's not just anybody. Fingers crossed he can get through, because I feel like it always, we say this every year, but it takes a certain buzz out of the tournament when Ronnie's out. The day Ronnie gets knocked out. So fingers crossed he gets through and at least, gets into the last 16 where you play either Zhang or Pang with a great chance to get through to the quarterfinals. So, hopefully he can get over the line in that one. I think it would be very good for snooker if he did.
That's what Joe's saying.
What's that?
Come on, Ronnie. That's what you're saying.
Come on, Ronnie. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, there you go. Any final thoughts on day 3 at the Crucible? Day 4? You've got me counting wrong now.
I know. I do lose count because there's so many days and so much snooker action is going on. There's been very few results where, do you know what I mean? It feels like all that player was really unlucky to not get through. I think most the matches, it's been quite satisfying how they've all felt quite fair and quite like, it's not that he stole that match or he played badly, but at most matches it feels like the right players won, which might sound like a silly thing to say, but even things like, Leipei Fan, you were like, well, he probably deserved it on the balance of things, and and it's good also that, as I said, players like Zak Surety have at least made their mark and done decently. Like, all the debutants have done all right, which is always something we like to root for.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to see fresh faces at the Crucible and doing well. And it's been a good mix of seeds and qualifiers getting through, so it's about right, isn't it? As you say. But hopefully it'll all turn out well today, and we should know virtually all of the second round players by the end of tonight. The only ones we won't know are the match against Luca Brissell and Ryan Day and Mark Selby and Ben Wollaston. So there'll only be 2 to go on a very quiet Thursday tomorrow, which is the day I'm at the Crucible. There's only 2 sessions, of course, 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And then the second round begins. So exciting times, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. You must be looking forward to heading over there.
Oh, absolutely. It's great to soak up the atmosphere in Sheffield. It always is a very special place during these 17 days. So, yeah.
You know what?
Go on.
One thing I noticed, the bit they usually sit outside and there's people behind them? I'm sure they've changed it so it's from a different angle now and you can't see people behind them. And I wonder whether
their winter gardens?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they have changed the angle. Yeah.
Is that because last year there was that weird video of a bloke biting a boy's ear and that went viral?
Possibly. I think it is just probably lewd gestures in general that have stopped them doing that. But then, to be fair, they did go and play on the table at some point and everybody was stood behind that. So I don't know, maybe they just wanted that background. They've got a quite a snazzy background this time, haven't they? So yeah, I imagine that's probably what it was. But yeah, shall we get into one of our regular segments, Tom?
Oh, if we have to, because I know what this is.
Should we cue the music?
Yes, so we're going to cue the music, and this is for the person who commented saying he wanted us to listen again to Gargles, and we're not going to listen to that song again because it's the worst rated song.
Yeah,
on the list.
Just to give a quick shout out to this person. It was where's Gargles? It was Sam Jones that requested that a couple of days ago on the podcast. Just another couple of comments to read through. Mr. Dog got back in touch saying the Murray Walker clip from last time was from the last episode of Clarkson's talk show he had, first broadcast on the 21st of December 2000.
Wow.
and he said, coming to a TV near you soon, the McVitie's Hobnob UK Masters. So that's in reference to our talk of weird sponsorships of snooker.
I'd be very happy with that as a sponsor.
And then Batwal99 says the Evening Hazel gets me every time. There you go. I'm very glad. Very glad. But yeah, we are going to get into it. So go on, tell us a little bit about this song, Tom.
It's another song by the same person who did the weird remix of Gargoyles. Called, what is he called? V/VX or something like that.
You mean the Bill Werbeneck 147 pints mix?
That's the one. V/VM it's called, and he did 147 records that were coloured very different colours based on snooker ball colours, and did weird remixes of Snooker Loopy. But there's 4 other songs that we've never actually listened to, and the one today is going to be this person's remix of the BBC snooker theme.
Well, shall we give it a go then? So this is V/VM with the BBC snooker theme. Don't know how to respond to that, Tom. If I'm honest. I mean, my ears are bleeding slightly. I think that's one way to put it. It started off so promisingly. The first few seconds, I was like, "Oh, this might actually be good," but alas, it was not.
I don't know whether this person's music is meant to be for snooker lovers or not. I can't work it out because I don't know why or what it is, and I'm very confused, Joe.
Well, it feels like they're trying to make it as awful as possible. Yeah, I'm gonna say the artist is Bill Werbeneck. 147 pints mix, so we know exactly who this is. I mean, it wasn't horrendous in terms of there was some things to enjoy in it. It tended to be when the music actually goes lower. It sounds okay. It's when it's slightly higher, it just feels completely wrong. But the fact there's 3 other songs on this album, Tom, it fills me with with dread.
Well, do you know what? I don't think we need to do all of them.
No, we do. We're completionists, Tom.
Part of me thinks we should do them all now, just to get through it.
No, they're coming on different days, Tom.
Okay, well, tracks that people have to look forward to include the Romford Rap, brackets, Harewood, the Wake Mix, and this is the one I'm really looking forward to, Hurricane Hoggins Wins. I'm loving it. I can't wait for that one. Only 40 seconds long.
I'm also looking forward to Snooker Loopy, which isn't the Bill Werben X147 mix.
That might be good, Joe. It might just be the actual
it might well
normal version of Snooker Loopy.
Yeah, it could well be. It could well be. But we'll have to find out another time. I guess, Tom, now we have to go into our ratings of this song. So just to remind you, we did do the version of Drag Race from World Snooker Championship 2005 back in the day. Mm-hmm. I gave that 9.5 and you gave that 10. So it's got a good track record, this song.
Oh, it's a good song. It's a really good song. I've listened to that loop sometimes for up to 20 minutes because it just keeps going round and round. It's a good song. This version is Oh, Joe. This is going to be a first.
A first?
I'm going to give it a -4.
-4? Wow.
It's a foul. It's a foul. It doesn't count. It's
a foul 4.
They've gone in off because genuinely, I don't see the point of it. I don't know why it exists.
Yeah. So you gave Big Bill Werben X 147 pints mix. You gave that 1.5, Tom. So you think it was 5.5 better than that. You also gave Jimmy White's Minted 1, which was even less than the 1.5, the 147 pints mix. Yeah, and just to put some more perspective on it, you gave Alex Higgins' Great Niece 2.5 for Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So -4 is putting into perspective how badly you think this went. I actually think I'd prefer to listen to this than the Snooker Loopy 147 pints mix. So I gave that a 1 last time, so I'm gonna give this a 1.5. I'm gonna upgrade it slightly, which means that on average it gets a -1.25 rating, which is quite poetic, really, because the version of Snooker Loopy got positive 1.25. So they're at least symmetrical, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's 3 more of these to get through.
Which means that it is bottom of the list, Tom. It is number 51 on our on our rankings, which is absolutely crazy, isn't it? But yeah, thank you very much to Sam for suggesting that we go through that pain.
Thanks,
I mean,
mate.
it's not too dissimilar to Fionn going through Dominic Dale for hours on end, but I suppose our pain was over within 1 minute and 44 seconds, so we'll settle for that.
It felt longer, though, that's the thing.
Felt like 147 minutes is what it felt like.
They could have at least made it 1 minute 47, and it would have given us something to go, oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Never mind. We will be back tomorrow for our next podcast, where we will wrap up most of the first round, and we'll package me off and send me off to the Crucible, Tom.
Oh, I'd love to do that. Put you in a little parcel.
Yeah, so I don't know what we're going to do on Thursday night. Depending on when the snooker finishes, we might do a quick live stream or something like that. I don't even know how these things work over long distance, Tom, but
Sort it out.
Well, so and if we don't, we'll miss a day. There's not a lot actually being concluded on the Thursday, other than the two first round matches. So we might just do a roundup of Thursday and Friday's action in Saturday morning's podcast. Perhaps we'll do that.
Yes, or maybe we will
bumper episode.
Yeah, and if there is a gap, we will just put out.
There's always a gap.
What I love about that catchphrase is it doesn't even make sense.
Because sometimes it goes, "Is there a gap?" No.
Exactly, and if there was always a gap, he wouldn't have to go, "Is there a gap?" in the first place, because there would always be one.
It is one of my absolute favourite quotes, though. Is there a gap? There's always a gap. But, I guess in many ways it feels very relatable because I guess that's how you feel, is like, how's there possibly a gap there? There always is. It's all just my luck. There's always a gap.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, snooker will absolutely not be the same. We've said it many, many times, but when John and Dennis stopped commentating, which will happen one day sooner rather than later, it will never be the same. Unless, Tom, they get us to commentate, and then we can bring back the catchphrases of, "Is there a gap? There's always a gap." Which is most of my 600 episodes of Snooker 19, to be fair.
To be honest, I quite like the idea of them getting just you commentating as Dennis and John.
Well, John.
Oh, go on, let's do it.
Dennis.
Go on, let's do it. Let's have a quick couple of minutes of you. This could be your audition for WST for you to commentate at the Crucible in the future.
Well, that's all we have time for today. We'll see you tomorrow. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Good evening, Hazel. Good evening, everybody at home. Well, John, there's been a little bit of a gap in the schedule due to Joe going to the Crucible. There's always a gap, then. Good night, everybody. Sleep well.
Oh, say good night, JV.
There you go.
Beautiful. I loved it.
Right. Well, we will see you tomorrow, everybody, for our final first round podcast. Get in touch with Snooker Loopy Podcast at gmail.com for some Fanjeng email, and enjoy the action on day 5.